Hey, so today's video is a little weird in that it's only the final two games of a best of five. However, I wasn't able to get the replays of the first two games before the patch dropped yesterday. I cast this as part of the Aureil Stormgate Invitational on Saturday of a couple days ago. And I thought those games were good enough, at least the final game was good enough, that it had to get uploaded. So even though the storyline of the entire series is missing, know that going into this, TheoRy and Bob, they were tied up one game apiece. And then they played a couple bangers. Enjoy. Welcome into Game 3. I have no idea what happened in the first two games. I do know that this was a shrine first coming out of TheoRy into a vault, into a conclave. Walling off the natural unbroken crown is a good thing to do. Sometimes we see players do this, sometimes we don't. Really depends on, well, how, if you're going shrine first, you can get away with it. Or I should say, if you're going shrine first, it's fine to go and wall off. If you're going, say, vault first or conclave first, something like that, generally you want to optimize when the vault goes down. You want it to go down pretty much as quickly as possible, which means that it generally, you're building the vault somewhere else. You're just kind of rallying the imp, and when you hit 100 Luminite, you drop it down, and you're good. That's how that generally is going to go. So for now, health camp's going to get taken, and maybe some pressure here. By the way, this is a one base tier 2, one Rax. So this, my assumption here is we're going to see a hangar bay go down it. Okay. I was going to say, my assumption is that we're going to see a hangar bay go down in just a second once Central Command is done. But there's a natural on the way now. So those mobs that were mining a bunch of Therium are not mining it anymore. At the very least, certainly you got the bubble, you got promotion available. That is, those are very powerful tools that just exist in the Vanguard arsenal. Yeah, I agree with you. It kind of looks like a Vanguard versus Vanguard build where, I mean, sometimes you'll see double racks, but where you get a couple lances early and you get really quick central commands so you can go and promote them and mess around with them and make these run-bys happen. But this is Vanguard versus Infernal, and that's not generally what we see. So, for now, though, he's got the Lancers. They want to run onto the other side, but that's a full wall. That's not going to happen. You're not going to break through this. Even though they're all tier 2, and even though they got speed buff, there should be enough Fell Hogs, and there should be enough Brutes, and you can get some Gaunts behind this, and, well, don't let him in. I want to let him in there, TheoRy. Well, I say he's not going to let him in because he's got Brutes here, but this is still a lot of damage on these tier 2X and tier 2 Lancers that are just kind of running through things. Now they're kind of, well, they're kettled in, but does that really seem to matter? Now it's a tier 3 Lancer. It does so much damage. It's tanking for forever. Magmadon finally pops out, but that is, well, not before the Lancer's just going to run into the main base. And remember, they do have, well, one speed. They don't have both speed buffs, but they do have one speed buff. So they're able to run around quite a bit. Bombs are, I see him start going to get pulled to try to snipe this tier 3. And this is actually a lot of damage. It's not killing a ton of imps, all things considered, but it's getting them now. And this has forced 45 Animas, first routes to Manifestation, forced a Magmadon, killed off some Brutes, killed off some Gaunts, another tier 3 Lancer, this one promoted pretty much organically. And hey, the heavily promoted ones for the most part, they're getting out, they're running away, they can go fight another day. And behind this, here come the Hogs. Send in the clowns, here come the Hogs, whatever you want to say. This is a very good, okay, it's awkward, right? Because you did lose a lot of Lancers. But I think the balance thing, I'm not upset with this. If I'm TheoRy, or if I'm Bob, I'm not upset with how this game has gone. I have been able to be very effective with my early game Lancers. I've killed off 7 or 8 imps or so. I killed off some Brutes. I forced a Magmadon. I forced a Shroudstone Manifestation. I think I'm pretty, I'm not upset about that. Isma's back saying 2 imps plus Magmadon created a 3 Brutes. Plus Mayhem created a 3 Brutes for quite a few Lancers. I think it was 3 Lancers that went down. So 3 Lancers, I want to say it was more than 3 imps, to be clear. It was like 5 or 6 imps. For now, though, Magmons are going to come in from the right side, and Theory was not, or Bob was not really expecting this. So on top of the habitat, that's going to be the first thing that gets taken down. So trying to supply block Bob as much as possible, but he is not going to get supply block anytime soon. Unfortunately, this army that he's made, all right, with all these hedgehogs here, is designed to kite your opponent onto the other side of the map. Designed to kite right onto the other side of the map. And if you don't do that, hedgehogs in just a straight up fight into a corner, it's like Battle Mech, right? Where Battle Mech is a very strong composition in StarCraft 2 up until the point where they're trapped into a corner. If they have nowhere to go, if they're forced to like set up and defend a position, well, it's very hard. It's not nearly as effective. So hedgehogs continue to be made 2x2. Only one of them is soloed, unfortunately, but they continue to be made 2x2. And they're just a little bit too little too late. They were not able to pick this army apart on the other side of the map. It was able to run across the map pretty much unimpeded. And now that means that, well, the rally just continues, and I think Theory has kind of got Bob's number, all things considered. That surprise cut through on the right side. He didn't know what's happening. So his hedgehogs were over here getting himself set up for the third base, and he wasn't able to kite in the way that he would have liked. Yeah, I was gonna say he might be able to. I don't think he stabilizes. Isma's back saying no, it was 2 imps. Let's see, I want to say 2 of the 3 imps on the north side that were pulled, they went down, and then a couple more imps died in the Therium line. So the Magmadon is dead, but the problem is this natural is just it's just unholdable. Now, if you get a Vulcan out, actually, if this Vulcan gets out in time, which I don't think, yeah, no, Vulcan's not going to pop out in time. So Vulcan's not out, which means Bob is dead. Theory is going to take game 3. Don't know what happened in the first 2 games, but game 3 goes the way Bob. So we're into game number 4. Theory was able to weather the storm and then just run across the map, catch his opponent off guard, and pin the hedgehogs into a corner. And as we were talking about, hedgehogs are really good in the open field, really good when putting pressure on your opponent, really bad when you have to defend a position, really bad when you're just kind of backed up against the wall. Poriforian, I'll do my best. I'll make sure to ping you. Or if someone else knows, then that would also be useful. Someone can just ping Pori. But for now, Volt into Shrine. That's fine. Question though, and I don't know. I right now, there's no way to just go and in a replay. You can watch from one player's perspective or the other, but that's not in observer mode just yet. Soon, because they've shown they have the tech for games that have happened. So eventually, we'll have the tech for games that are happening. By the way, I cannot wait for live observing to be a thing, and by that I mean they're working on it. I mean, one of these days they're gonna fix this bug, but it doesn't matter that I have drag scroll disabled at all. Drag scroll still drag scrolls, even though I haven't actively toggled off and on. It doesn't really. It's a setting that does not work. One of these days they'll fix that one. But anyways, if there's one feature that I'm really excited about, more so than being able to watch from one player's perspective versus the other, or a production tab, or whatever. Eventually, I think someone might have told me it works in the dev environment. It's just not robust. Eventually, we're going to be able to live join games. So like there's going to be, Stormgate Sundays, whatever. And people are going to be able to live join and observe by themselves, like kind of do a full Dota TV type thing. And I am so excited for that to happen as, the tier 3. Come on, kill this tier 3 Lancer. It's dead. That is a tier 3 Lancer going down. Already, this is not nearly as good of an opening as it was in the last one. The last one arguably didn't get enough done either. So certainly this Hexton's going to have to run, and the Scout's going to be annoying. But there is a full wall in the natural. Certainly the Conclave just about done. Problem is, it's only single vaults. So you can only build one brood at a time, but I think we should have Greater Shrine done. Actually, Greater Shrine is done. We just have about enough money for a Magmadon. So obviously Theory doesn't want to make it. Doesn't necessarily want to go have to build the mag. Well, no, he's going to make it anyways. Okay. I was going to say, you know what? He doesn't want to spend the Therium on it, but Seems like it's fine. He's going to commit to it anyways. And then that just means that these Lancers shouldn't get anything done. So Bob went. That's round one, right? You move across the map with the Lancers. You try to get some damage done. It works or it doesn't. And in this case, he has gotten no damage done with the Lancers whatsoever. Which, when we're talking about this build, it is very much a tempo thing. It's there was a build in StarCraft 2. Zerg players would do where it was a Link Flood into a Baneley Bust into a Roach All In. It was the triple barrel build. And it was very effective, certainly for not Legacy of the Void for the most part, but Wings of Liberty, Heart of the Swarm, it was very much a thing. Or the triple barrel bust, I think it was called. And that's kind of the idea, right? Where you do damage on round one to slow your opponent down for round two, so it's harder for them to respond, and then round three, and it just the damage compounds. So if you're not able to make that happen, it does take a little bit of power out of the rest of the follow-up. Now this actually is probably just going to go down. I mean, we see, okay, it stays alive actually. Very nicely done there. And good news, there's a Fellhog deed. So this Magmadon is going to take like 0 damage, but also army's not all that big, and the Hedgehogs with the Lancers in the wall, and they're still pretty strong. And when you only have single Therium source, I mean, yes, there's the shrine on the right side, but this doesn't count right now, not with the pressure leaning in. Well, this is what we talked about. This army from Bob, very good aggressively, not as good defensively. So a second Magmadon is going to try to join the fray, but it just gets kited out a little bit. And well, there's a third base here, and at least there's some Shroud you can fight on, but with no Plague Axes, that's not a solution. And in fact, Gaunts just have to run away for the time being. Magmadon's getting low. Can it eat a Fellhog? Yes, it will. Okay, and now there we go. Look at this trap. The Lancers, they have overcommitted here. They're all going to go down. Nice play out of TheoRy. Well done. Magmadon, I think one Magmadon did finally die, but now you're fighting Gaunts versus Hogs, and the Gaunts are very happy about that scenario. So I think Magmadon did die. It was pretty low, but getting that Fellhog eaten was a massive deal. And now, well, the Twilight Spire is done. Plague Axes are, Reaper Rush is on the way. Plague Axes are done. And once we get up onto triple Therium, which we will soon, once we get up there, as this is dead gone. Say bye-bye. Wave goodbye to the gun. But once we get up to, okay, I guess this is gonna be a drop. I was gonna say, Spriggans are actually probably pretty good here, because this is not a bio play. The anti-air is not significant, but you just drop on top of the Hedgehogs over and over again. And yeah, you're just gonna force them back. Actually, this is pretty fun. I like this. Drop play just makes me really happy. Drop on top of them. Please drop on top of them. Okay, so Magmadon has to go back and eat something a little bit. It's a little sad. Lancers are gonna run through these Gaunts. TheoRy, you don't want to be fighting. You don't want to be fighting this right now, friend. You got to be backing up. This Magmadon is a little bit too low. Now there's a Lancer, or it's not a Lancer. There's a Vulcan on the high ground. Now Shroudstone Manifestation is gonna be there, and that means the Magmadon is dead. You need a couple more of them. Magmadons are seriously getting. We got a Hellforge on the way, but getting a Shadow Cleft and getting like 6 Spriggans would be so good in this game. It's like, okay, well, do you really want the Hedgehogs to be shooting up? You really don't. You want them to be fighting on the ground. So TheoRy is going to now go to 8 Gaunts in a drop. And we do have a Sentry Post, not doing really a ton. And remember, Bobs have been nerfed significantly. They do not have the HP that they used to, so we will be able to get some conversions here. Certainly no splash, really, on top of these Gaunts whatsoever. So this drop is getting a lot of damage done. The Gaunts, they're sitting right on top of the post, which means it will not be repaired. It will not, well, we'll not be able to get that much more. So that's going to stay alive. Hedgehogs on the right side, not getting all that much done either. And, well, that's a dead Vulcan. So nice harass, excellent, really, harass on the other side, getting a lot of value. And the harass from Bob, not accomplishing all that much. Hey, Andy R80. Good morning, Nathanius. Hope you're having an awesome Saturday morning out there in the Pacific Northwest. We had some of your weather earlier this morning, I guess. I mean, it was rain. It was pouring rain this morning. I woke up and the dog had to go get let outside because, you know, dogs have to be let outside. Dog did not want to go outside. It was very wet, very rainy. He does not like the rain. He's like, I opened the door for him, and he was Not interested is double double drop's gonna go. It's a Weaver drop. Why the hell not? Just get a lash here, kill off something, kill off a hedgehog, and pick up, fight again another day. Anything gets done, pick it up. There's no anti-air. There's absolutely no anti-air. What are you gonna do? So it's when they buff the drop tools. We've seen some more evac play, but I really thought we were gonna see like multiple Harbinger type stuff. Oh god, this shroud walking is not working. It should be able to walk over. Well, I don't know if he can walk over Harbingers, but should be able to walk over things and just getting zoned out. Man, Weavers are fun. I love the way they look, like these Cthulian horrors, but they do love to dirt. They really do. They're like, watch me. There's a quote. It's like something like, you know, to mess things up is human. To really foul things up is to computer. It's like to err is human. To something is divine. And then it's like, yeah, anyway. I am screwing the quote up enough that it's not worth mentioning anymore, as this rampart is gonna go get taken down. The bulwark sentry post. It doesn't take a lot of damage right now, but it also doesn't do any splash damage. So it's kind of single targeting this drop down, and that's just not really a solution. So Bob is, you know, kind of a rough spot. This Vulcan arrives, it's just gonna get lashed. It's dead. Harbingers have to run away. Yeah, they don't want to fight this. They really don't want to fight this. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna force Nightfall. Nice, Nightfall, and then they're gonna have to run away. So what I was gonna say is they're gonna force all the hedgehogs into anti-ground mode because, well, Theory's just gonna attack them with all of his ground stuff, which forces them back out of anti-air mode, which means the Harbingers are allowed to play. To err is human, to forgive is divine, to really foul things up is what computers do. That's what it is. There we go. This drop pressure is getting... It's funny, I'm looking at this, man, the drop pressure is getting so much done, but... Oh, Harbinger's gonna go down too. Yeah, that's a problem. I was gonna say this drop pressure is getting a lot done, but the supply is not insane. And one Harbinger is gonna go down. Both the double drop's been taken out. Sentry drone doing God's work there, making sure that he had vision over the edge. And so now as we take a look at things, where is Theory going? Is he on tier 3? No, he's not. But he is on... He's going quad Spire. He's on 3 Spire right now. Shadow Cleft done. Spriggan's getting added in. And this is triple Harbinger. Okay, come on, Theory. Please. You have 3 Harbingers. 1 Fury Low, but you have 3 Harbingers. Get Seismic Slam. Like, it is such an underutilized upgrade, and I think it has so much potential. And if you're getting 3 Harbingers, you might as well. The stuns are good. Adding stuns on top of everything, it is just good. So for now, he's gonna drop an innumerable amount of costs in the natural. Then yeah, this is a doom drop. This is a lot of bombs getting taken out here. There's a little bit of healing because, well, that tech's here, but yeah, Theory's gonna have to back up with the rest of it. The army returns, but he's doing a very nice job of keeping his opponent pinned back home, minimizing the economy as he is on a full 4 bases. Although, I don't know if do we have, don't know if we have flaming imps. Nah, the Lancers are gonna arrive. Maybe there's a Shroudstone manifestation? Oh yeah, okay, that's what's gonna have to be. But it's just gonna promote the hell out of it, and the Lancers, no, they're probably not, no, not with like, I think previously the Lancers may kill that, but with the buffs or with the nerfs to Lancers, not as much anymore. So 4 bases, mining very nicely. Spriggans are gonna go defend that for the most part, and Elder Shrine, still not here. Nate saying, if I tried to commentate this, I'd be completely lost. Thankfully, Bale has infinite will of passion like the center of the sun. But nah, Nate, you're a professional. Oh man, another Harbinger goes down. this is 2 of them go down. This is getting expensive. This Theory's still in a great spot, don't get me wrong. He has killed so much. He's on 4 bases. He's technically on 5 shrines. He's got a ton of stuff here. Miasma. These are some very optimistic hedgehogs. They're like, don't worry guys, we got it. We will kill off all the Spriggans, all 3 of us. We got it, we will be okay. But no, this base is dead, and Theory's gonna win this series, by the way. He has done so much off that initial aggression, make sure that it didn't really work out, and then to keep his opponent pinned back, and it has worked very, very well. The gentleman saying, I don't understand the game much yet, but watching Beo makes it so much fun. I am so glad that, gentlemen, there is, honestly, there is not much more someone could say to make my day than like, hey, this is making this thing that I care about more approachable and more fun and more interesting to watch. That is literally the goal. I'm just trying to make, you know, make your day a little bit more fun. Something like that. Can we please have an evac that instantly off the venom traps? They hurt so much. Also, they're very loud. Maybe tune that down a little bit. Venom traps, by the way, they don't have them here, but they got all this marginally new. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. New update. They've gone and they got the heat effect and they're rotating. They look, it's the same idea, right? The same glyph that we've had for forever, but the Venom trap now looks a lot better. Emperor Football saying it's great to see a high supply match. It's funny is what was it, Gaetano something was saying, hey, we never see high supply games. We never see high supply games. And the answer is, well, you just had to wait a little bit. The Aspen's gonna go down on top of everything. This has to be the fight, and it is such a bad one. I mean, Nanoswarm on top of everything, and Miasma doesn't do a lot here against all these high HP units. If there ever was a fight, this actually is one that Bob has a very good opportunity to win. Nothing's dying. Oh, nothing's dying. Vanguard, Infernal, one of these days, you're gonna have units that are gonna do some damage, but that is not this day. Nanoswarm cloaking the entire map. Every single high-tech unit goes down. Unfortunately, a bunch of Spriggans are in the main base, and the high command's gonna fall down. So it's like, great. You defended your third base that has already died once. Now there's a main base you got to deal with, and these Hornets are going to slowly get taken down. There's a lot of Spriggans. Now, they are Skymine, which means they do not run. Much like Drakes, they also don't run. Don't know how to run. They're kind of in an awkward spot, as we're going to see a lot of these Hedgehogs get taken down as well. So, TheoRy is expanding to another base. Still no Elder Shrine. It is 15 minutes in this game, and I think that's worth it to get the Elder, even if it's not for, you know, a dragon. Tier 3 upgrades, it's worth it to get 2% more HP regeneration of white health. That matters quite a bit. So Spriggans are now, they've also killed the natural. Oops, forgot about that one. Natural's dead. It is a one base mining, but this is just all in, and the Weavers are caught. It is so important to have this army together. So we're going full on base trade. I love this. Awesome. It has been too long. It's been too long since we've seen a full on base trade in Stormgate. I think this is something that favors TheoRy in quite a significant way, because Spriggans do bonus damage versus heavy. Most structures are, well, I was gonna say favors him because, well, you got Hornets, or you got Shadow Flyers, but Hornets are just such a hard counter to Spriggans that it's just not funny. It is insane how much better they are. So, well, Spriggans continue to flock around. The army continues to try to fight in. It's a 80 supply lead here. Spriggans and Gaunts below are gonna kill off the rest of this. But there is one base on the left side that TheoRy is not aware of. And if I'm TheoRy, I think the really important thing that I'm doing right now, I'm reestablishing my tech on the left side. I am building a lot of my production on the left side of the map because I will eventually lose my production on the right. So TheoRy, he's got to bank 1K. That's about what it is. He is still mining on the north side. Not a lot of well, no, he is mining a decent amount of Therium. And he just got, okay. He got the dragon on the map. This dragon is not the end all be all. That's the crazy thing. Dragon's out. It does 90 damage a hit. Second most single targets in the game, I think, behind an Archangel. No, I think an Atlas against the structure does more. I think Atlas does 140, so maybe third most in the game, but it does a lot. But when we talk about the fact that there are so many Hedgehogs up, Hedgehogs annihilate the dragon. So the dragon's out. That's awesome. TheoRy does not have a ton of money anymore. He has to be rebuilding some of his production in the main base. We can see that right now. That's why his Luminite count is so low. Unfortunately, I don't. Okay, do we have any other workers elsewhere on the map? We do. Okay. Good news. Great news if you're a Bob fan. He's got a command post on the north side. So even as this is all going to go down, There is one more structure. Bob still's got a lot of money. Do flak AA turrets not do well anymore versus Brigands? Yes and no is the answer Deathly got, because on the one hand, yes they do. They do damage, they do good damage versus light. Problem is the Spriggans will dive on top of them and then they just won't be able to fight. Because Binding Saliva 15 stacks of it is a big, big deal. So I think step one here, Dragon's out, you're gonna get more Fiends. Miasma gets you more Fiends. That's always gonna be pretty nice. I think you gotta go check the corners here. I think you really have to check the corners if you're Theory. Because if you can go and kill off the Bobs, I mean, that's gonna be the end goal. It means it's only gonna be this command post done. Oh, this is so smart. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is actually so smart here. Look at what he's doing. So he's taking the rocket launcher, and you might say, well, okay, why would you do that? And the answer, more than anything else, is because it tells you where the army is. It's a free scout, and now he's gonna get on top of everything. The dragon, all the anti-air is dead, and Theory has won this game. It's been a long time coming. It went to a very cool base trade, but he got him in the end, and Theory gets to move on to set versus Senegal Rostov into the next round. This was a very cool game.